There is an energy and a spirit that some places hold the minute you walk onto the property.
They felt the presence of the Holy Spirit here.
I feel that sense of peace, comforting,
healing, hidden jewel,
depth of trust and sharing.
This is a place that has and will continue to touch people's lives and transform people.
I felt at home. I felt happy.
Jesus says to his friends, come away with me for a little while so we can rest.
I really feel God's presence here.
Welcome to Spirit in the Desert. We're so glad that you're here. When I walk on the campus here at Spirit in the Desert, I feel an instant sense of peace. It is a place where no matter what else is going on in my life, I have the opportunity to stand back, to breathe, to reflect, and somehow, no matter what else is going on, I feel that sense of peace and I'm able to go forward. You know, the last year has been challenging. Closing for 11 and a half months, not having a regular revenue stream. Financially, we had some obstacles, we had some challenges, but through the generous donations and through some good decisions, we're able to get through to the other side, which was our goal. We're now able to go forward with new programming, with new marketing, with rekindled relationships from groups that have been coming here for years, and I'm extremely excited about what's happening in the future. We have so many positive things happening, and it's all because of the generous donations and the help we have from our donors.
Welcome to our virtual silent auction fundraiser. We are so glad that you're here. It's our hope that while the video is running, that you will take a look at the auction items on the click bid online. If you didn't care to bid on something, but you would still like to support us, we would welcome that opportunity as well. And you can find those links on the click bid online site. So meanwhile, grab a glass of wine, grab a cup of coffee, sit back and hear a little bit more about the story of Spirit in the Desert.
When I enter Spirit in the Desert, it's as if I feel lifted above all the outdoor, everyday things of life.
I love the campus. Of course, everybody loves the campus. You come on the campus and you just kind of have this feeling that you're set apart from something.
And I find this place to be definitely a place of rest.
The bird song, the gorgeous grounds, the flowers, the breezes.
As soon as we gathered outside on the patio and the desert breeze was blowing past us and the spring blossoms were all around us, community immediately established, and depth of trust and sharing and givenness to the Lord in this place just blossomed.
This provides such a unique environment to be able to listen to Spirit within us.
This is a place of such great opportunity.
I coordinate weekend retreats for veterans. These retreats are geared towards helping veterans deal with psychological and spiritual distress that they received when they're in the military. And when they walk onto this campus, there's a spirit that hits them almost immediately.
I love this place. I was a pastor of a congregation in Tempe for 22 years, and we use Spirit in the Desert regularly as a meeting place for our church council and our small group ministry. We even had our staff meetings out here, and our people loved it.
Spirit in the Desert wasn't named that for just any reason. Somebody who named it felt that spirit, and they felt the presence of the Holy Spirit here, and it continues to be here.
I see my job in Spirit in the Desert as a place where people can unplug as well as plug in. And what I mean by that is we are so plugged into our computers, our phones, the internet, cable, that our lives get pulled in so many different directions. And what we encourage people to do, and what people have the opportunity to do here at Spirit in the Desert, is to unplug from the stuff of life and plug into the source of life.
We want Spirit in the Desert to be a place where people can come for healing, transformation, restoration.
You know, we've been planting seeds in our ministry. The Lord's been planting seeds in our lives all these long years. But when we come together in a place, in this place, a place that's prayerful, that's beautiful, that where hospitality waits to welcome us. It's as if those seeds that have been growing come out into the light and the warmth, and they open up into beautiful flowers. And that's what it feels like to be here.
So when I sit down with people and when we have conversation, it is kind of like clearing a space for people to come and reconnect. We do that with some main programs here. We help people who have been through trauma in their lives. That's veterans, first responders, children who have experienced trauma. We have people from the Arizona Burn Unit. This is a place where they can all come and get away from all that distracts them in life.
So one of the beautiful things that I get to do here is when we do our retreats, I am here in order to take care of any issues that come up. And so what happens is I get a chance to do a personal retreat. I might go down to the chapel. I might go out on the walking path, and I just pray during that time. And it's just a beautiful experience.
And as we're talking about our pasts and our other spiritual journeys, it just made it so easy to open up and to learn from each other and from the site here. So we will be coming back.
I find that being here at Spirit in the Desert after a few years, I feel at home again immediately. And I just pray that I can continue to come here and be refreshed just as I have in the past. And we just pray that this place will continue to be available for those who need a quiet place to get away, just as Jesus did when he got away and invited us to do the same.
Richard Anderson, the former executive director here at Spirit in the Desert, had a dream of redoing our dining room. That's one of the dreams I want to pick up. And there's a number of things that I think would make the dining room much better, more inclusive, more expansive. And the first of those things is completely redo the flooring, redo new chairs, new tables. But the big piece of this is to knock out all of these windows and put in glass sliders that will allow us to create an indoor-outdoor dining environment that will allow larger groups to all eat together, to all be part of the same group instead of part inside, part outside. With 10 months a year of great weather, it'll be a perfect opportunity for us to expand our ministry and create a better dining environment for all of our guests.
Spirit in the Desert can accommodate 50 people easily in 26 guest rooms, and many more when doubling up in spacious, well-appointed rooms, each with comfortable beds, ensuite bathroom, bar sink, mini fridge, and luxurious outdoor balcony. Did you know? The 2-story Yakel Guest Lodge was designed by a Taliesin architectural team. The main Estrom building offers a cozy business center with a computer for checking email, coffee and tea refreshments 24 hours a day. Did we mention the heated pool and jacuzzi? Add all of this to the flexible meeting and dining facilities, the extraordinary sacred spaces, and you're sure to connect, refresh, and renew your calling here in the Carefree Desert.
This campus and this property, it's like a part of me. I know the bushes and the trees and the plants that are here, what grows wild, what I've planted in our herb garden, and it all comes together like they're my friends. I like to interact with the guests. As a food service manager, if you go into a restaurant, you normally don't see the executive chef. I love the way that we've set up that we interact with our guests, and I have memories of working with some kids who wanted just a pile of spaghetti noodles, and I got it for them, and they were thrilled to have me sit down and interact with them at the table. That's the kind of memories I want to help make for people here at Spirit in the Desert. I come from a long line of women who cook, large families, 15, 16. But my grandmother always used sourdough, and the particular sourdough that we have here came from my mother, and it was mixed with a 150-year-old Yukon sourdough that I received from my sister on one of my birthdays. And so there's this heritage in that starter that is transposed into everything that we make here in bread. And it kind of is like its own living, growing organism. I pray over the bread when I make it, so it becomes a part of the Spirit in the desert, part of the people who partake in it. And we frequently ask groups to come and also pray over it. So 150 years, this sourdough has been growing and changing, and if you come here, you got to smell it. It's like amazing. In our kitchen, it says they come to break bread with us, and it's right in the middle of the kitchen, and myself and the staff, we take a little bit different view than a fast food restaurant or even a restaurant. People are coming here to have an experience. And that experience is breaking bread together as a community. I want this place to be where people are drawn. They come here because they're drawn here to be healed, where they can experience quiet and the desert, and then our food incorporates into that kind of healing process.
One of our favorite places on campus is Ravenscroft Chapel, Spirit's largest gathering space, with its grand piano, upright piano, 7,000 lumen ceiling-mounted projector, 1,000-watt speakers, and 11-foot screen, not to mention a wonderful view of the desert and flexible seating for meetings and for worship. Brother Jim Hansen leads a contemplative worship service in Ravenscroft each week that we call Wednesday Respite.
Every Wednesday at 4 p.m. here at Spirit in the Desert, we have a contemplative communion service for 30 minutes. A part of that service is a touch point where I offer a reflection on the biblical passage. A touch point is simply me sharing where the Bible passage touches my life. It's not interpretation, it's not defining, it's not my explanation of the text. It is simply where the biblical passage touches my life, and I share that with people. I use the phrase biblical passage rather than biblical reading or biblical text because a passage takes us from one place to another. And so when I share, I talk about how this biblical passage moves me from where I am, usually at a comfortable place, and moves me in a direction that sometimes I want to go and sometimes I don't want to go. And the goal is for the people who are hearing it to ask, how does this Bible passage touch them? What is their touch point? Not whether they agree with what I say or not, but what is the touch point for them that this biblical story, this biblical passage offers them?
As a retreat leader and a spiritual director, I think the name Spirit in the Desert is so awesome, because when you think of going to some place and you want the surroundings to be absolutely beautiful and perfect, while the desert does have that, there is one element that I think speaks to our inner life. Spirit in the desert. In the dryness of our lives, filled in this desert as succulents with so much water inside, that thing that binds all humanity together, water, the wellspring of life. And to be able to attend a retreat at Spirit in the Desert and to pay attention to the movement of that water within us is what waters us to the outside, from the inside out instead of from the outside in. And that's my passion, is to be able to help others to find that which they were seeking, which they always had. They were just unaware of it. And I feel privileged to be able to lead people into finding their wellspring of life within them, Spirit in the desert.
If you've been to Spirit in the Desert, you know it offers excellent facilities for groups. 7 indoor meeting spaces suitable for small groups of up to 5 or so to larger groups of up to 90 people, equipped with comfortable, flexible seating and access to AV equipment and Wi-Fi throughout the campus. In addition, there are small group indoor and outdoor gathering spaces and benches and tables placed throughout the campus for resting, for chatting, journaling, or simply sitting in silence.
We can pray by walking the labyrinth, and I'm here at Spirit in the Desert Labyrinth to introduce you to this spiritual practice. But what is a labyrinth? Although it looks like a maze, it is made up of one continual path within a large circle, leading from the outside to a small circular central area. Unlike in a maze, it has no dead ends, no distractions, and one cannot get lost. On the inward journey into the center, we release. We release distractions, worries, anxieties. We release stresses. We release our roles in life. We release anything that distracts us from our prayer time and our experience of God. So I hope this has piqued your interest in using the labyrinth as a spiritual practice. I encourage you individually or as a group to come and experience it for yourself. Come and walk the labyrinth. Come and pray.
In addition to the labyrinth, Spirit offers 2 other meditation walks, the Islands of Silence and the Campbell Prayer Pathway. The Islands of Silence meditation path is 1/5 of a mile long, a path that begins at the top of the hill, crosses a wash, and concludes at 2 benches at the bottom of the hill. Each island has its own character and represents a symbol to spark reflection. At each stop, guests are invited to rest and contemplate their own faith journeys, walking on their own or using Spirit's guided meditation. The Campbell Prayer Pathway is based on the 7 Steps of Morning Prayer from Joyce Rupp's meditation book, Out of the Ordinary. Along the path are 7 stones, each inscribed with a word of wisdom or guidance: gratitude, love, hope, compassion, generosity, laughter, and patience. Guests will often stop at each stone, reflect on the word, and consider how that concept plays out in their lives.
Like most organizations, 2020 was a challenge for Spirit in the Desert. Back in mid-March, we shut down for what we thought was going to be 2 or maybe 3 weeks. 11 and a half months later, we were able to start a soft opening. During that 11 and a half months, it was a challenge, but we set the goal to make sure that we were available, open, and made it through to the other side. And we did accomplish that with the help of so many gracious donors.
So donors, as it is the case with any nonprofit that I'm aware of, are so important to this ministry. And that's why I encourage you to give, because this, even if you're not here, you know that you are making a difference in other people's lives.
This is a place of such great opportunity, and it's really just the opportunity that's needed for, the financial support to be there so this can have a solid footing.
We just had a great relationship between our congregation and Spirit in the Desert. Our congregation has a budget line item in which we try to support Spirit in the Desert every year.
Anything that you donate to the Spirit in the Desert is making this kind of experience accessible. And it is so specific and it is so personal and it's so silent that you may not see the impact that it has, because it's private and it's personal so often. When you walk around the facilities, you see what it does. When you talk to the staff, you see what I do, and you see the heart, you see what it does. But what it really does is it makes an opportunity to bring messages in here that touch people in an environment that allows the receptivity of Spirit to move in.
Your gifts will help us to create an environment where transformation can happen with each and every retreat. People come here for rest, for healing, for transformation, and with the help of your gifts, we'll be able to have the environment here that allows that to happen on a regular basis.
My hopes for Spirit is that we'd get larger participation from groups. We have a pretty full docket post-COVID, and it's really exciting to see that our people are coming back. But more and more groups, it would be really helpful to carry on our mission. If we could pick up donations from supporters, that would be greatly appreciated and help us serve our audience.
I hope the Spirit continues to be a place where people of all denominations and faiths know that this is a place of welcome, that they can come here for a variety of reasons, to reinvigorate and to find inspiration, to find solace, a place to find rest, and to renew.
And the team here serves us on the grounds, in the kitchens, in the buildings, in their welcome. They receive us in hospitality so that we can have undistracted presence. I'm deeply grateful, and Lord willing, I'll be coming for years to come.
I love this place. I love Spirit in the Desert. It's a tranquil place, a meditative place. It helps us to get in touch with our spirits. I hope that I can stay connected for a long, long time. And I'm willing to do the things that I think will enhance the ministry of this place and also give me a reason for continuing ministry. So thank you for your involvement with Spirit in the Desert and for your commitment to this place.
Thank you so much for all of your help.